Okay, I have to show you something I've been playing with. It's really messy on the back, but I had thought about doing something like this and then doing it in punch needle, but not with a regular punch needle, with this thing called an easy punch. And it's an old technology from the 80s, where it just threads through and it goes into here, and it's kind of hard to work with. I happened to find an electric one, which was cool. But I have a couple of other ones. Let me show you basically, yeah, how it works. It's really messy. Um, but you press, and you have, your hoop should be a lot more taut than mine is, but it's what I have to work with, so I'm not going to worry too much. The biggest thing is to make sure you don't hit yourself, right? But it's uneven. And so what it looks like on the back, is this kind of fuzzy, which, you can trim down later. I just trim it down a little bit when I'm done. Got to do this thing. But I thought that this, and obviously this is going to be in reverse, because I didn't think to use I used a piece of Sorrel. I don't know if it's Sorrel paper, because that's what I had. And it's kind of like really sort of rough and ready, but it's kind of fun anyway. It's a little scary to me because it's like, very electronic. But once you've got the basic pattern down, you definitely trim this down. And then, start filling in the background if you want. It's kind of cool because it only uses like regular thread, like sewing thread. And it's got this fine little needle that, let me see if I can get this off. Hold on. Press down. Maybe not. So I managed to get that off, and what it is it's got a little removable thing, needle, that the thread threads through. I'm going to take the thread out because it's not work, because I pulled it out by accident. But you basically, what you do is you thread one of these needle threaders through here. Yeah, believe it or not, it goes through. And then there's a hole here you have to have hit. Thread it through the threader. Got a bunch of junk there. All right. There you go. And then depending on the size of that, you put it in whatever hole it goes in. Make sure it has to be right there between those two. And you've got enough thread hanging out. And then you put this back on. There we go. All right. I'm going to put the cap on this for right now. So, it comes in various sizes of needles. They got the little, these I think are a little tinier. These, and again, you're judging by the hole that it's got here, this little hole. But ended up with a bunch of these. And something else that's cool about it is there are different sizes for different spools. Like you can get one that's got for a smaller spool, and it's just a thing that, either attaches like this, or attaches like this. They also see if I can get this one to come out. You know, you put batteries in here. You put your batteries in there. But like I said, in addition to having, you know, ones with batteries on them, you can get one that they all have these little plugs. And so you can use it that way. Cool little tools. Funky little tools. I had done some little samples a while ago. These are little sheep. I haven't put their eyes in yet, but I did them to make brooches out of. And I think it works pretty well. You can leave it loopy if you want. I mean, you don't have to trim it down. But I like the idea of trimming it down. It'll make it more like a little shag carpet. So, you used to be able to get, they're called easy punches, by the way. You used to be able to get, you know, these things, um, you know, for the spools, the big ones, the regular ones, and they show you how to put everything in. And you used to be able to get the needles, right? I think you can get the threaders from them, but this is probably from a different kit, this one. I'm thinking of doing the body of my horsey in this sort of variegated, really nice Coats and Clark, what is this? Cotton, 100% cotton, thread, which will be really fun once I get it. I am gonna trim this down, though, because it looks pretty, I mean, look at this, it looks pretty loopy, because I don't know how to control this very well yet. So, I'm just having fun. My real project is this little Tibetan tiger rug, pattern that I came up with, and I wanted to make him very rainbow colored, so I am gonna use, you know, these kits that I found from Aldi's, you know, where it's got all of these different colors, and I'll probably use, like, you know, that pink and maybe that orange, maybe that yellow, and, you know, I'm just gonna have fun with it and see what happens. This now with this colored thread. Let's see what we got here. I got my picture. Okay.